The Doom soundtrack. Of all the tracks, I'll use this one of the most iconic track as a reference. Let's find out what makes it sound great. First, the guitar is so powerful that it almost resembles a chainsaw. Second, the drum hits hard. And third, the siren-like screech synth to warn your enemies. So let's get right into the video. But a quick disclaimer here, we'll use a lot of distorted sounds, so putting everything on 100% level of mix will not only rip your eardrums, but will definitely be a terrible mix. I recommend starting with 80% volume and finding a balance for your track. I will start with writing a guitar riff, and I don't want to use basic minor scale. I want to make the melody as dark as possible, so in this time I'll use a Frisian scale. And let me briefly explain what the scale thing is, as a lot of you guys wanted to know the music theory behind the tracks. There are 7 types of modes, and it may seem random at first glance, but actually it's very straightforward. You can see a C major scale here, it's called C Ionian mode. If I get rid of the first note and put it all the way back, and shift the scale to start with C, we get a C Dorian mode. I've used it before, so if you're interested, you can go check it out. We can go repeat it
again and again.
So we get a Phrygian mode, which I'll use later. Lydian mode. Mixolydian mode. Aeolian mode. And Locrian mode. This is the melody I wrote with Frisian scale, except this note is from Arabic scale because it sounds cooler in my opinion. Now let's set up the guitars. I used Odin 2 by Solemn Tones and Guitar Rig 6 as a virtual amp. Now we have a guitar riff, but I wanna make it better. I changed some notes to palm mute and added very short ghost notes to bring up the rhythm. On the last note, I added vibrato using the pitch shift, but it's still not powerful enough with one guitar, and here's the trick. I brought out another guitar and did the exact same thing, and take a look at this. I made the first guitar wider and the second one centered. With this technique, 2 heavily distorted sounds don't conflict with each other and wonderfully fills the whole stereo field. Just look at how much it changed. For the siren effect, I simply used a siren preset from Splice. I put a ton of reverb and delay to make it act like some kind of pad. We've completed making the intro. Now let's move on to the fun part. The drum and screech lead will be introduced here. But before that, let me change the riff. This part will be more intense compared to the intro, so I wanna make it fast-paced. I'll add a bass here, but as you expected, I won't use basic sub-bass. I want it to sound like... I cut off the high frequencies because it's slightly distorted. I put the siren I used in the intro, but it is 1 octave higher and 4 times faster. Now for the fun part, the drums. I took some time to find the perfect drum sounds, because we need them to somehow stand out through all the construction site level aggressiveness. It sounds good at its own, but I'm 100% sure we won't be able to hear it in the final mix. So I layered the synth drum so that the kick has some punchiness in it. I cut off the low ends of the first kick to prevent it from messing up the mix, as it'll conflict with the second kick I added. For the snare, I followed the exact same principle. This is a recorded sound which makes the mix sound alive, and this is more processed one to add punchiness. With these sounds, I wrote a drum pattern and I made sure it follows the rhythm of the guitar riff. But it's not enough, we need crashes. And I also layered it with rides to fit up the highs. A hi-hat loop can be a great ear candy. And finally, a main crash. I just cut it this way. For the next part, I simply copy and pasted it. I found this preset on Splice which will fit perfectly. I adjusted the portamento time to make it glide from note to note, and again put a ton of reverb and delay. This is the melody I wrote, and for this long note, I made the pitch go slightly down to make it more interesting. Now let's make the final part. Yeah, that's all. Here I make the complex drum solo and make the guitar follow it. It's hard to explain, I just try to use lots of unexpected rhythm as long as it doesn't sound messy. The guitar follows the drum. And that's all for this part. For the final touch, I added some atmospheres and a riser. Now everything's good to go. But before I show you the final result, don't forget to leave like and subscribe. Also, I'm open for the commission, so if you want me to make a music for you, contact me anytime. Thank you, see you on the next video.